Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new trade recap of last week. So, EURCHF was a -1% trade and GBPCAD a -1.5% trade. So, this will be a total of -2.5% a week. So, there were not a lot of trades to take that upcoming week. So, yeah, you just needed to take the trades that were possible. So, I did that with two missed trades on Friday that I didn't take. So if I go to the weekly, what can you see on EURCHF? The first trade I took, what I saw was we had our low, high, low, higher high. So we were in a bullish market with that bullish M that could play out to the upside. But what we saw was we had here our impulse from the third leg, and then we had the fourth leg very correctively coming. So we were kind of making that bull flag for potentially going more to the upside. So yeah, we could trade with the trend or we could trade with a correction. And this is what we could do, but the daily was still bullish for me because on the daily, I will just go over quick the supply and demand on the weekly. I drew here also my blue horizontal line here where I bought, where I traded the buy setup, and I saw here some clear support, resistance, and then here some very nice support that pushed the price up to the upside. So that was very nice to see that we had our supply and demand zone, and then I went to the daily. And on the daily, what could you see? On the daily, we were still bullish because this was our this was our low high, then this was our low higher high, then we broke it here, and then this was our new low, and this is our new high. So everything between this low and high was just a correction for potentially more upside momentum, as you can see. So what I saw was here. So we took some liquidity from this daily buying zone, so this daily low, as you can see, we took some very nice liquidity, and then we made a pattern. So I will delete it. So I will delete, and I saw here some bullish M with same highs, so we expect same lows. We broke under it, so we made the natural M fake out, because this could be a potential fake out for potential more upside momentum, which it didn't do. So my fake out 4-hour zone was around this lows here because I adjusted it on the 4-hour. As you can see, I adjusted it here. And what we get was a 4-hour diesel. So we had our first candle, second candle, third candle. And on that fourth candle, you could take there the trade like this. So you could take the trade there. And the trade was running almost at 1%. I think it was around 0.80 it was running around, and then it went to the downside because the 4-hour was still bearish also. 4-hour was here, this high, low, high, lower lows, everything between this high and low was just a correction for potential more downside momentum. So that's why we went to the downside, no problem. It was just followed by the plan, and it just didn't play out. So then GBPCAD, if I go to GBPCAD on the weekly, what could you see on the weekly? I'm now implementing some new stuff. And yeah, I was considering to still take the trade because what I saw was, or what I'm testing is, we have our high wick, we make our weekly reverse point here, and we just have a wick above that and it closed below. So it took some liquidity to go maybe more to the downside, and this is what I can see. It happens a lot of times. If we have a weekly high, low, and we tap just with a wick and we close under that weekly reverse point, then there is a sign that the price can go to the downside. So that's why we also went to the downside, but I still wanted to take it because, you have this low, this is our high, you have this very big impulse, then this fake out flag for potential more upside momentum. We had our candle with us from the weekly, that weekly blue candle that was with us. And on the daily, this was the more nice thing to see. We had our impulse here, and we had very corrective nature, counter to the trend for potential more upside momentum. So this was for me the confirmation. Okay, the price is tired; it can go to the downside, but to the upside, and then it went to the downside. So yeah, That's also because of that weekly liquidity was taken to go to the downside. So yeah, then what I can see further was, okay, we had our shoulder one, had shoulder two, we could take a trade here. So I was looking at it, and on the 4 hour, I saw the decel then forming. You can see on the 4 hour, it's more clear. You have very corrective nature. Yeah, counter to the trend here. You have this low, this is our new high. Everything between that is just a correction for potential more upside momentum. So that's what I could see. Yeah, so what I can see here, then we became very corrective. We went to the daily and we saw our first candle touching the daily zone. So this candle, so I count this as one, then this is two, then the third candle must be then a bullish candle close, the third, and then I could take my limit and we went to the downside. So this was a trade followed by the plan, only that we had taken some weekly liquidity that the chance was more likely to go to the downside. So that's why we went to the downside. So the missed trades I didn't took was GBP NZD. This was on Friday on around 7 a.m. So I was standing with a late shift, so I didn't wake up that early. So if I go to um, the weekly was still bullish. We were making here this higher highs, higher lows. We're making this bullish M. We had our bullish candle close from last week here. This one, this bullish candle close, so we could look for more bullish momentum. We touched the weekly highs. That's no problem. We just didn't had this week gaming like this week and then closing below. So then it was more likely to go to the downside. So now we had some more, more room to go to the upside, even if we had the weekly highs touched. So if I go to the daily, what you saw on the daily was clear bullish M. We had our first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg coming back to the daily lows. And then we could take there a trade on the daily low. We had here also some resistance, support, to clear supply and demand zone. And if I go to the 4 hour, what can you see? We had the decel then. So we had our first candle here touching the daily zone. Then you have that second candle, the blue candle, which is a nice indication. We must have a blue candle. Then the third candle, and the fourth candle not closing in the decel, but then the next one must be in that decel box, and that's when the trade was active. And then we went to the upside, and we are now, if you took this trade, you are running around 2.7%. So I would take some 4 hour TP there. This trade I took on demo because I was running GBPCAD at the same time, and I preferred more GBPCAD because of that corrective nature coming, so that slow price action that's coming to my daily inverted and shoulders. So that's why. So afterwards, I must consider that the weekly was making that liquidity, so a spike to go to the downside. So that's why I needed to take GBP as a D first. So then, the diesel just running still on my demo 2.7%. Then AUD what could you do on AUD on the weekly? So what I saw on the weekly was we had still here our low, and this is our main high. And within that, you have this bullish M. So we are making here then the smaller bearish W. So we were bearish, but we were confirmed indicational bearish because we broke this week of that low here. As you see that weekly reverse point, we broke it here. So that was the main reason I was looking to go for more downside momentum with that very big impulse to the downside, with that possible fake out flag that could form next week. So what can you see on the daily then? So we had a weekly bearish candle close. So this was also a nice indication. The weekly trend indicational was with us. We had our retrace candle. So our candle was with the trend. And then on the daily, what I saw was we had still here our high, and this is our low, because all the wicks go over into each other. As you can see, all these wicks go over into each other. So yeah, I saw it as this was the high, this is the low. So I would just throw it again. So this is our high, this is our low, low here. Oh no, here. This is our low, because all the wicks came in over into each other. So this is one impulse for me. Then this is our high, and this is our lower low. So this is the bearish W that could play out. So we had our bearish W. So we already made a fake out here, and now we were again at this zone. The daily zone is still yeah, valid for me, this daily high. I was not looking to this shoulder one, head shoulder two, because the bigger pattern is still this bearish W. So that's why I was looking for that daily highs again here, and then we received a fake out. So if I go to the 4-hour, what could you see? I just needed to draw the 4-hour zone, still here, fake out zone, like this, 4-hour. And what can you see? We made the diesel. So we had our so the first candle, then the second candle, then the third candle with that nice bearish candle close here, like this. And then the fourth candle here closed not in the diesel. So if the next candle came back to the diesel, then it was still valid. But for me, it was not that clear anymore to take the diesel, but you could consider to take it. So that's why I set it in my missed trades. So it was still valid, but it was not that confirming to me for this trade to be valid. Even if there was a candle in between, we went already, yeah, some kind of to the downside. We went already with that very nice candle to the downside. So it was more, it was more of a risk to take there a sell on to go more to the downside. So that's why. So yeah, this was my trade recap of this week. I hope you liked it, and see you next week. Bye.